moments, all this buildup. The first time I played Street Fighter 6 was ridiculously impressive. And until I played people that really showed me how to use mechanics within a couple of hours, it opened up even more. It was like, whoa, this isn't just Street Fighter 5 2. This is a lot more. This is a lot bigger of a game that builds on that foundation. It grew within my first day playtime. What I'm getting at is that all of these crazy in-depth mechanics and cool things and all the stuff that gets put into fighting games, if that stuff doesn't become obvious that this is super cool within the first 30 minutes of you playing the game, within the first few rounds of you playing the game, then I think that game is sort of like failed. Its design as a game, just in general, just as a normal video game that engages the audience, I fall off really hard. Just in general, dude. This doesn't even apply to fighting games. It applies to like all games in general. Like if this game doesn't hook me early on, then then something about it just isn't gonna do for me. Even Tekken 8 and its crazy ass, insanely oppressive gimmicks and shit was proposing some pretty crazy ideas. Visually, that game was looking a lot different than the other Tekkens. What characters were doing was much more fantastical than a lot of the shit the other characters are doing. It was pushing the Tekken 7 aspects way further. So visually speaking, it was like, damn, this game's crazy, dude. This Tekken 8 game is crazy. Maybe we gotta tone it down a little bit, but it's kind of nuts that we gave characters even more things than they've ever had. That was, I won't lie, pretty appealing. So that grabbed me with something. It got its hooks in me. That's the spot that I am the most captivated by fighting games in general. That's the spot where I feel like I am the most critical of fighting games. And I'm able to communicate that to developers over the years when I play early builds of things, of whatever games it might be over the past like 5 to, 8 years of being in this situation. If there's something about this game that doesn't grab me like immediately, I can communicate what's not doing it. Is it the hit stun? Is it the pushback? Is it the fact that specials don't feel special enough? Is it the fact that supers don't feel unique or special enough? Is it the fact that things are too long? Like all that kind of stuff. I think it is exemplary in fighting games. In the fighting game genre, in the fighting game aspect, I think it is way harsher that if that fighting game doesn't do something visually captivating, immediately appealing, I want to try this, I want to play that, wow, that looks so cool. If it doesn't give you some sort of like childlike wonder in the first like few minutes of you just even witnessing its existence, then I feel like it's going to be very hard for that game to engage a larger audience, like straight up. It's going to be a lot more difficult for that game to find an audience, to discover people, to discover new players, or really engage with people that are not just hardcore fighting game folks. That is my perspective on fighting games. That's where I'm coming from in every regard now. Now my entire focus is not as wide as it used to be, where it's just like, oh man, is this just going to be a great game for hardcores and a great game for casuals? Does this game even functionally serve its purpose as a video game? Does it even feel really good as a game? I'm sorry, I hate to use the example of the Bleach game. Granted, it's probably great in many ways and people really like it. My dude, the movement felt incredibly bad. Just moving around with characters and like pressing buttons felt really bad. My ability to make a connection in that game was really difficult because it was the antithesis of some of the things that I really enjoy. I'm not even talking about the depth of gameplay. It felt heavy, dude. Like anything they're proposing to me that's coming after that is coming at the behest of this big issue right at the forefront. And it's like, yeah, you can learn to get better at that. You can learn to get way better at these things, but that's always going to be there. To be honest, this has been a criticism I've had with several games from like the Injustice series, Injustice 2 especially, from MK11 right at the start. Even Mortal Kombat 1 has a lot of issues, even though it proposes a lot of really fun stuff. I got into MK1 because I'm a hardcore fighting game guy, and they do some really cool hardcore fighting game things in that game, especially now. But it ultimately fails at a first impression because just doing the most basic thing, like calling your assist to help you in attacking, feels bad. Fighting and pressing buttons and jumping and pressing feels kind of rough, even compared to the other NRS games, which kind of have a barrier of entry of this sort of feels rough to get into, you know? That's really where my ass comes in and starts having a lot of opinions. I start to get very critical of my opinions on how things feel, even at the beginning of Guilty Gear Strive, with how they were approaching previous Guilty Gears going into the new one, even though there was there's a lot of really fun stuff in that shit. My ass comes from a very critical reception of just how does this game feel as a game to new players? How does it feel just to press buttons and do things? And does it propose new, crazy, engaging ways to do that just in general? And it feels like in some situations, like a whole bunch of games are sort of like scared of doing that stuff at the time, scared to try new crazy ideas, scared to try different things. And in my opinion, it's what makes fighting games great. Proposing that a game in general just has a great competitive high level. I think Mortal Kombat 1 is the best example of that because I've spent a lot of time with the game. Proposing that actually the high level of this game is really cool, but you got to get through all of this crazy bullshit to get there. You're going to have to get through all of this really aggressive feeling problems before you get there. And it's like, yeah, man, that's really difficult. It's really difficult to sell somebody on this when you know that they have to go through the learning process of just like, I got to put up with this shit, bro. That's my kind of big take on fighting games and how first impressions in fighting games are really important. How about DNF Duel? The best example, dude. DNF Duel proposed the coolest idea ever. Mega powerful specials. So everyone was big loving that game at the start in the first betas. Everyone was big loving it until we realized that actually you just have to hold all this shit because the mobility is ass. And that was already a criticism that we had at the beginning that, man, running feels bad. Why does the movement feel like shit when everything else feels so much fun? Like, what is happening? So yes, like from the very beginning of DNF Duel, that felt like a game that should have been moving at twice the speed, but they had attacks and all this big crazy shit that was huge and it felt like we're in a Marvel versus Capcom. Every character's Virgil and shit, but nobody can move around. It was kind of a big problem. We gave that game credit because it did feel good to do those things with really big, powerful moves and specials, but it clearly had an issue. That's kind of the thing. I will be the most critical with fighting games. Is this game promoting something interesting and cool and engaging? Or is it just sort of like being very careful? Is it being very esports, you know? That could be kind of a thing that we realize now that, man, the games are trying to be a little bit too safe. Sometimes we just gotta let it rock. Sometimes like maybe intentionally putting dirt into a game isn't maybe as generally fascinating as discovering dirt. Personally speaking, games like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 were not designed to have dirt. They gave characters a lot of powerful tools, but what people eventually found out and how good it was discovered by players. People figured out how gross some of that game could be. Plank dashing was not intentional. Characters having infinite hit stun on some moves while the rest of the roster follows a rule set that maybe some characters don't apply to, that was not intentional, dude. So much of that stuff was not designed to be that way. Players discovered that stuff. Players figured that shit out. And that discovery is what made that game fascinating. It's what made that game cool. That's why I deeply feel that first impressions of fighting games is sort of a thing that I feel like I have a little bit of an expertise in that situation and just identifying that this game's gonna pop off, bro. You can see why any rando and even any hardcore fighting game fan is gonna look at that shit and go, damn, I'm into this shit.
As I had hoped. And I reference Elon Musk, and here's why. It's seemingly working. I know a lot of people that think he's an anti-Semite. I'm like, you sure about that?
Well, they think he's a Nazi.
Right.
More than just an anti-Semite,
right. Okay. So,
like an actual Nazi.
These are reasonable people.
Yeah, and here's the irony. He's on the spectrum. So this thing,
where
he didn't
is
even realize what he's doing when he's
the
going
heart
like,
gesture.
my heart goes out to you.
But Joe, what about the video, the montage of all the liberals, including AOC,
Doing it.
engaging in the same sig hail
Tim
that
Walsh.
aren't on the...
Tim Walsh, I love
Yes,
you all. Love
yes.
You all. This is like it's like a thing that people have to stop doing.
But that's
You got to do it like this. You got to have two hands, touch your heart, and then.
I'm not doing it.
You know, when I
I'm
was
not
getting in trouble
complying.
with CNN during the vaccine days, the COVID days, they would use a photograph of me from the UFC weigh-ins because when I go to the UFC weigh-ins, I say, "Welcome to the weigh-ins, everybody." So they had this photo of me from the side with my arm. That's the one they used all the time.
No! Wait, people buy that shit and they are still buying it, and that scares me. And in an argument on Piers Morgan, I did raise my voice a little bit. I was like, well, I don't know. I don't think he's an anti-Semite. Number one, he's friends with the Jews. Number two, he hires Jews. And number three, he hasn't killed any Jews. And they
He
were
has a necklace around his neck that he was given to one of the mothers of the hostages that says, "Bring them home."
I remember him going after October
Yeah.
7th and talking about the videos that he'd seen. But the guy was like, oh, that's your benchmark? He doesn't kill Jews? And I was like, no, that's yours. You're the one comparing him to Hitler, who killed 6 million Jews. So if you're going to draw that comparison, 6 million. So shut the fuck up.
It's all dumb. It's all a trick because what they're really doing is going after him because he's trying to go after USAID, and so
I
that's
see
their
that.
slush fund.
But can
Yeah.
I tell you how many reasonable people, and I cannot...
I have friends that I have to argue about it with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's when I tell you, like, I don't know that it's actually losing its power.
It is.
You think?
It's just not losing its power with really fucking dumb people. And you're going to have a certain percentage of really fucking dumb people. And they're either going to have to catch up or we're going to have to overwhelm them with a lot of logic. And that takes time. And it takes a lot of these kind of conversations. And they get out there and they get clipped. And maybe you and I said something here that will be taken out of context and used against you, which is always really fun. That's my favorite. You just take like a snippet of it. See, told you. She's a this. She's a that. And then it's this reductionist thing where they try to define you by a string of words. Forget about your whole life.
They did that to Candace Owens.
Yes.
Because, oh, she's this disgusting anti-Semite. So I listened to her. I listened to her answer all that stuff on her show. And then I listened to her debate it with Rabbi Shmuley. And I thought, okay, let's see what a bitch she is. And I listened to everything she said. And I checked it all and watched it in context. And then I actually sat with her. And I was like, all right, I can open the door.
I like Candace a lot, but Candace says a lot of wild shit.
She
that's
does.
not accurate. Like,
But do
she
you
thinks
think
dinosaurs
she
are
hates
fake.
Jews? I hear you. I get it. But I get it.
That is like self-inflicted.
I
That's a
understand.
self-inflicted wound.
But do you think that I'm like, all right, are you a Holocaust denier? No, I'm not a Holocaust denier. And still to this day, she's a Holocaust denier.
Well, that's my friend Daryl Cooper, who was on my podcast, because he said hyperbolically that Winston Churchill was one of the main villains of World War II because he started blockades and forced Hitler into action and starved the German people. Like, it's like what he said was really unfortunate the way he said it, but he was trying to say that Winston Churchill did some things that if he hadn't done them, maybe World War II wouldn't have gone the way it went. But the problem is when you say that and it gets taken out of context, people say, oh, he's a Holocaust denier and a Nazi sympathizer.
Right.
But then you listen to his podcast, he's got this, I think it's 30 hours called Fear and Loathing in New Jerusalem. And it's the most gut-wrenching tale of the persecution of Jews in Eastern Europe. Just the beginning of it. I tell everybody, just listen to the first 40 minutes of it. It's so heartbreaking. Like, this is not the words of a homophobe, or excuse me, of an anti-Semite that would say those things.
I haven't...
reductionist things that people have to do.
But even still, here would be my argument to that. Let's say he was. If you're inclined to believe that, let's say that was his argument and that Hitler wasn't bad and it was Churchill, then you're an asshole and an idiot.
Yeah.
Then there's no hope for you. This gatekeeping of
But he's
information.
neither an asshole or an idiot, and he's being called an asshole and an idiot by people who don't consume his work.
Of course, I'm saying
is really
worst
crazy.
case scenario, because I see this a lot with the gatekeeping of information, and God forbid you don't fact check everybody on everything, which has been something that I've gotten a bit of. Like, well, you nodded your head and you said I see your point. I'm like, well, sometimes I see their point, and sometimes I don't know, and I can't fact check everything, and I'll talk to somebody else who has a differing opinion. But people can think for themselves as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, there's just a lot of bad faith actors out there, and there's a lot of people that do that. This taking people out of context and trying to use this reductionist perspective and label people with these pejoratives that are inescapable. Like, it's in the racist, homophobe, anti-Semite, all those are inescapable. And once you get hit with those, that's your fucking sticker on your forehead for the rest of your life. And that's what they're trying to do to you because they're trying to silence you and because they want to win. And this is a real problem with human beings when it comes to ideas, is that, like, if I believe something and you believe something differently, I don't want to listen to you. I want to beat you. right? I want to overwhelm you with talk. I want to Piers Morgan you into submission. I want to yell at you, not Piers the human, but the show.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
You want to yell at them, and you want to win. You want to dunk on them. And this is why I don't engage with people on social media. I just think it's the worst way to communicate. And when I see people doing it, I genuinely feel bad for them because I think they're mentally ill. When people are dunking on people constantly on social media, I'm like, well, that's a sign of mental illness. Like there's something wrong with you. But you don't realize that yet. Like this shit's been around for 20 years now, and you're still engaging in that kind of behavior on social media. It's stupid.
It gets clicks. That's what I think it is.
That's
I
also
think
part of the problem. I get enough attention.
Yeah,
I get enough attention, so I don't need to like reach out and try to get more. Which is like, but by the way, that's what you're supposed to do when you get a lot of attention. You're supposed to rise above. With great power, great responsibility. You're supposed to try to be nicer, which is I try. That's like one of my core tenets in life: be as nice as possible. And here's a shocker: I find people are nice to me almost entirely. Like, very rarely are people not nice to me because I'm nice to everybody. So if you're nice to everybody, guess what? People are nice to you. And even people I disagree with fundamentally.
But you're listening to them, though. That's exactly what you're trying to say. One of the conversations that I've referred to a couple times is the one I had with Matt Walsh. I don't know that some people who are in the middle of this argument and could be influenced might go my way. And I cannot remember if this was a TED Talk or where this information or the story was put out in the world, but it was the story of a black man who ended up befriending a Grand Wizard of the Klan. And
Daryl Davis.
Is that
He's a friend of ours. He's been on the podcast a couple times.
Oh my God, the story! Like
Daryl's a musician.
Oh my God!
And
became the guy's like godfather, the guy's kids.
Not just one. No, he's got more than 100 of these KKK guys to give him their robes. Yeah, and convert and change them over just by love, just with love.
That's what I'm hoping in those conversations. That's power.
Yeah, well, Daryl's a really amazing person and a shining example of what's possible when you just show people. Like he's like, man, you're different than all the others. It's like, actually, I'm just a human. I just have more melanin in my skin,
Right.
And you are unfortunately you have been trapped by an ideology. You have othered people simply by their looks, and you haven't learned this lesson that we were supposed to be taught by Dr. King in the 1960s. Judge a man by the content of the character.
It must have been your show actually where I heard it, but it changed the way that I approach 99% of my conversations because I thought, okay, if I listen with an intent to hear and an intent to understand, and I can expose people to the things they're uncomfortable with in a way where we find common ground, I may not change their mind, but at least in some cases you hopefully can, and at least you're modeling.
But it takes so much time. It's like Indiana Jones when the guy starts throwing the whip and he just pulls the gun out and just shoots him. Like that's like I just want to just shut the fuck up, And that's what a lot of people like, especially today in this like everybody wants to take Ozempic. You want a quick fix. You don't want to work out for fucking 6 years to lose 50 pounds. No, I want to just lose 50 pounds in a month. And this is the quick fix thing of today's society. And when you're offered this pill that makes you smarter instead of reading books, like I'll take that pill. Like this is the argument that I've said to people when they always talk about, I don't have time for exercise. Like I'm not interested in my body. Like this is stupid. It's vain. It's this, not. I'm like, listen, if I give you a pill, just give you a pill, and that pill made you fit and healthy and muscular, you wouldn't take that pill?
Improved your
Why would you not want a body that works way better?
Improved your mood.
Yeah, of course you
Your
would.
sex life would get better. All of those things.
Of course you take it.
That's a defense mechanism, though. You know that.
Right.
It's a fear that they would be incapable of following through on what's required, so they defend against it. It's the same shit you see with people that are overweight and like I don't care, or they make fun of their weight and like they become the funny fat guy. It's a defense mechanism.
Oh, I have a lot of friends like that. A lot of comedians. It's like their entire act, like being fat.
I know.
It's a big part of it. Yeah.
There's a guy I went to Kill Tony last night, and there was a comedian that was up first, and he was 412 pounds, and the guys were doing what they obviously do. But there was a part of my heart that was splitting.
Of course.
Because I was like, deep down, he's hurting. Deep down, this fucking guy's hurting. Deep down, it's so funny.
I know, right? That's the problem.
I was dying inside for him.
And also, if you're 420 pounds or whatever he is, like, boy, the road to becoming healthy is hundreds of pounds away. And that is so daunting. Especially when you have the pull of addiction.
Yes,
and
that's the big problem.
Yeah, and then you get eat intuitively.
Oh my God, which is impossible, by the way.
Right.
Because the food is designed to override
if I
your
ate intuitively,
satiety.
I'd eat only pizza.
I have a diet. I think some fries.
100%. Yeah, pizza, fries, and ice cream, and Coca-Cola would be my whole diet.
But the entire food system, all of the ultra-processed foods is designed to override your body's signaling of satiety. It's fucking impossible.
Yeah.
And then you couple that with the psychological vulnerabilities, and it's a powder keg.
You sound like an ad for Ozempic.
I am. That's exactly what I am. Oh my God, I'm gonna get that tattoo, man. Afro-Zempic Dragon Believer. I got the sticker, by the way. It's on my suitcase. I like that Afro-Zempic.
It's really kooky. It's weird, but the only way out is through conversations. The only way out is to educate people or enlighten people or expose people to other ideas. Like, you're not really going to educate them, but you will expose them to other ideas. And I think over time, the good ideas will win. It's been so many years of bad ideas, and it's so indoctrinating, and it's so difficult. And then also, it's your identity. Your identity is this, whatever it is, whether you're Matt Walsh or whether you're a 420-pound trans person. Like, your identity is like embedded in whatever you think of yourself as being, and it's very difficult to take wisdom from someone that you think of as the enemy.
That's so true. And breaking that identity, in particular when it works against someone. So one of the things that people can't believe in a reality they haven't experienced.
That's true.
And so one of the ways that I used to utilize fitness was to give them an experience that they didn't think they were capable of. So all of a sudden, you've got the funny fat guy who just ran that mile without stopping. Or who just did the push-up on the hands and the feet, or just did 10 pull-ups in a row, or even 2. But once they look at their achievement, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was capable of this. And then you shatter that prison of limiting beliefs and you open up an infinity of possibility.
You also have to find a tribe. You have to surround yourself with other people that are trying to improve themselves. So if other people around you are trying to improve themselves, then it will encourage you to be a part of that group, and you all do it together.
Completely.
And then help each other if you fall off the wagon, and pick each other up, and like reinforce positive behavior.
You see all of that with, back in the day, I used to get so caught up in the fights about diets and fat workouts. And as I've matured, or like to think that I have matured, I don't even engage in that shit anymore. It really doesn't matter what workout you're doing. If you're doing it with a qualified professional, or if people are showing up for CrossFit because they love CrossFit and they love the community, great. If they're showing up for Pilates because they love the community and they're showing up for it, great. As long as they're showing up for something.
Right.
And the person teaching them, a great CrossFit coach, matters. That's a big difference between you herniating 3 discs and getting into the best shape of your life. So I would simply say, look for a qualified expert.
Yeah,
but,
that's a good point.
I'm beyond the what's the best diet and what's the best. Who gives a fuck? As long as if you're in a positive environment that's getting you to show up for it day after day after day, something's better than nothing.
And
Doesn't
you're
matter.
focusing on improving.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that comes with community for sure. You're absolutely.
That's what people
right.
love about CrossFit is the whole community. People,
Absolutely.
you go there, you're all working out together. I used to love that about yoga class.
Yes.
You go to a bunch of people. I knew them all. Like, hey, what's up? But you don't talk until after it's over. It's like one of those things. Like, they really discourage talking before. But like, you're all sweating together. Like, you're going through it together. There's no other way. And then you get out the other end. You're like, wow, I wouldn't have done that by myself. I would have quit at like 40 minutes. But I did the whole 90 minutes, and now I feel better. And then the rest of the day is easy.
That's why I think community is such an integral part of treating addiction. Because you have that supportive group to keep you accountable, to show up, to feel like you're a part of something, and we've seen it work for you and work against you.
Yeah.
It's like, again,
It's also an integral part for an evil army, unfortunately.
I know.
You have to believe that you have to kill these heretics.
Beginning, how do we tip things over to
You have
the
to make
right
your side
side
be
of
more attractive. You have to make your side kinder and more empathetic, and also more admirable.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. The rewards have to be there, and admirable is one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to like wish you had those characteristics and go, why don't I? Well, maybe I can. And just also realize you're not who you used to be. Okay, if you were a fat alcoholic, gambling addict, you don't have to stay that way forever. You don't have to. You're not that. You're a human being. You were trapped with behavior and ideas that were not self-serving. They're not good for people around you. You probably stole things to feed your addictions, and you have terrible self-worth and terrible self-image, but that's not you. That's who you have been. You are who you are right now. So if you choose right now to be positive from here on out, and you're going to have some mistakes and fuck up along the way, but find a group. This is why Alcoholics Anonymous is so important.
Yeah.
You get around these people and you all agree. They're all like, and you have sponsors and you help each other. Like, this is the whole idea of community. We are not solitary individuals. We're just not. We are a collective organism experiencing itself in individual ways.
I agree with you. I do. I sometimes see evil winning out more often than not.
Well, because that's what's in the news, and that's also what's in your algorithm, and that's why you have to stay off social media. Yeah. I feel so much better. I've been off social media like almost entirely for like a few, I don't know, like really weaned off about 2 weeks ago. I really followed my wife's footsteps because like she just got off and she's like, I feel so much better. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And so I'm like, let me try it. And so I tried it for a day. I was like, wow, I feel so much better after this day. And then I tried a couple days, and then I'm like, oh, it's real. Like there's, Sugar Sean O'Malley, the UFC champion, he goes, I get a low-level anxiety when I'm scrolling through social media. I'm like, right, what is that? Like, what is that? But that shit's real. It's also, you realize, like, you're just distracting yourself with this stupidity.
But when you don't
do that, your mind feels better. It really does feel better. So I will occasionally, like if I'm on the toilet, I'll like scroll through Twitter, find out what is everybody mad at, and then I'll put it away. You know, and then sometimes I'll go days without looking at it at all. And then sometimes like, hey, like I got a text the other day like, hey man, you okay? I go, well, what? And they're like, oh, people are mad at you on Twitter. I'm like, okay, that's not the real world, bro. I don't even know what they're mad at. Like, no, don't reach. Like a friend of mine sent me something that people are, I go, don't send me that shit. I'm not looking at it. I don't care.
Aren't you immune to that by now, though? You have been forged in fire. For fuck's sake. What are they going to say to you at this point that you're even going to care about?
Well, the thing is, it's not me. It's them. They think that I'm upset at this thing because they would be upset at this thing because they don't get attacked, right? So, like, my sister used to send me things like that. I'm like, don't send me that shit. I don't care. Like, you know.
My wife used to do that for a little while because she would worry and want me to kind of like temper my behavior.
Right.
My business partner would do the same thing. Like, oh, I really don't know. Could you stay in the pocket here on the fitness stuff? But I found that the more I would lean into that, it didn't matter how many attacks would come my way because you would resonate with the people that got it. And that ended up working better for me personally and professionally. But you're right. It is their concern of how they would feel if people called them those things or came for them with the pitchforks and the torches.
By the way, the worst thing you could do is fight back, which is really crazy. The worst thing you can do is like interact with people that are attacking you, which is really kind of, but that's everyone's instinct. Everyone's instinct is to go, well, I'll tell you what I think now.
You get caught up in it.
Yeah, you get caught up in it.
It's ridiculous. The only time I find myself doing that these days, and I'm going to stop it, is when my son will challenge me on something. And then my mother was like, we're debating something. She's like, honey, you're litigating this with a 13-year-old. And I was like, yeah, okay. And you know why? Because I still care what my kids think about me.
Sure.
Instead of, but the rest of the world, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Well, you do, but also you can't control what people think.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
The only thing you could do is be undeniable.
That's so well said.
Yeah.
That is so well said.
That's all you have. And so what happens with haters is they challenge you to become more undeniable. And so that's good. That's what their job is.
They make you steel man your arguments.
All the losers of the world, they challenge you to become a bigger winner.
They really do.
Yeah.
I've learned how, especially in the health space, when I would be active in a conversation about fitness or nutrition or what have you, you learn how to bulletproof yourself in that conversation.
Right, because people will fight so hard to keep their bad habits.
God, it is insane.
Yeah.
And there's also so much infighting in every industry, which bums me out. And that's when I just was like, what am I doing?
That's an attention thing, right? They're upset that you're getting the attention that they think they deserve. Like, she doesn't even know what the fuck she's talking about. Like, blah, blah, blah.
But you know what?
You see a lot of that in the health space.
You do, and I hate it. And it's super disappointing because we can share ideas and we can, as you said, admit when we're wrong and learn and grow and what have you. But the real enemy is not another friggin' doctor or another PhD with a different opinion.
Right.
You know, we've seen who the real enemy is. And it's big pharma when it's got bad intentions, or big food with bad intentions, or big ag. It's not going to be like the guy who has a different opinion on cholesterol, for fuck's sake.
It's not even that. It's just that guy with a different opinion on cholesterol is getting a lot of attention. Yeah. And then these people are comparing them. They're comparing themselves to that person. Why don't I get this attention? And the way to get the attention is to dunk on that person, to say awful things.
Yeah.
And then people dunk on you, and then now your life is conflict. Okay, good job.
when they do, I like to sit down and see if there's truth there, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, I've not been immune to some of Lane Norton's assaults, and you know what? We sat down and I was like, listen, Lane, the things you're going after me on are not from me. It's from this PhD, that PhD, this PhD, and the American Medical Association. And had him on my podcast, and by the time we were done, he won me over. I was like, I believe you. I think you're right. I'm changing my position on this. You know, but sometimes you're right. It's because someone is getting attention or there's envy there. And I would simply say you can intuit when a criticism might be legitimate. And when you're seeing it over and over and over again, and it's a similar thing, there's something to look at there. But outside of that, when you know it's bullshit.
There's also the problem with bots.
Oh,
so
yeah.
The
my God.
vast majority of Twitter might be bots.
Yeah.
You know, an FBI analyst that used to analyze big data sets. He said he looked at Twitter and he said it might be about 80% bots.
Kara Swisher said that to me.
Yeah.
I was blown away.
Crazy that is?
She and she would know, and she was showing me stuff, these bot farms and shit all along the wall. It's,
yep.
Yeah, and then you're just engaging.
And they shape narratives, and
it's crazy.
Rogue states and different people use it, and I'm sure like there's publicity firms that use it. I'm sure. I mean, I don't know.
I don't either, but without
you
question.
could use it with AI. You know, you could easily have one computer that would run many accounts, and you could program it to have variations on a theme. But you see it sometimes when, like, there's a lot of social media influencers that get co-opted, and one of the things that you see is a very similar message, you know, and they use very similar phrasing. You know, sharp as a tack was one of them. And you saw that over and over again with Biden, like sharp as a tack, sharp as a tack.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
So they were getting influenced, and they were getting paid.
Yes. You know who, did you ever see that? I'm sure, of course you would have. But I remember when I was talking to Senator Johnson, and he was exposing me to the Trusted News Initiative. And this is the whole, the newscasters that have the exact same script and say the exact same thing.
So Orwellian.
And but in broad daylight.
Yep.
There's, guys, we have clips of all of you
saying the exact
same thing. It's so clear. It's a narrative. And when he told me This blew my mind. He went pre-COVID he was talking about this event at the Milken Institute where Fauci and oh my God, I'm gonna screw this up, but I think it's this guy, Rick Bright. Forgive me because this may be wrong, but this group of people, definitely Fauci, we're talking about what it would take to get a global vaccine program. Fauci says probably gonna take a pandemic, and this is like 5 months before COVID. Not to, just to put my tin hat on and roll myself in tinfoil and jump all the way down the rabbit hole. But then Avril Haines said, well, what are we going to do about misinformation at this event that she'd put on shortly after that? And he said that's where they came up with the Trusted News Initiative, right in time.
Well, not only that,
for COVID.
they came up with a new term, and that term is malinformation.
Ah.
Do you know what malinformation is?
don't.
Malinformation is
Malicious
true
intent?
information that might do harm.
Did not know this.
So there's
Stop.
misinformation, disinformation, and
Got it.
malinformation.
I have not heard that.
Yeah, malinformation was
So-
something they were trying to promote during the Biden administration as being dangerous, and it's essentially the truth.
I knew we've got to reconsider the First Amendment.
Yeah.
I've seen all those clips. That is some scary shit. It's like Senator Kerry, Bill Gates, Hillary Clinton. And do we criminalize people who are promoting this misinformation? But I did not hear malinformation.
Did you ever see the CEO of NPR doing a TED Talk saying that sometimes the truth gets in the way of getting things done?
Oh God, no! But I've heard them all say that. I said it on. Oh my God!
Well, it's an infantilization of the public because they're too stupid to handle the truth. They're dumber than you. You're the purveyor of information, and you need to give them the information that gets things done. And sometimes you have to lie to them. Like vaccines are safe and effective.
Oh my God, what did you post? I think it was the cover of the New Yorker that said something about doing away with the First Amendment.
Yeah.
And
Wonderful idea.
Like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, the real-
It's not like it's number 14, by the way, or number 5 is the number 1.
Yeah.
The First Amendment.
It's in the way. It's in the way.
That to me, when you're having this debate about Kamala versus Trump, I'm like, how do you guys have this selective outrage about what's flipping your shit? A due process for Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who's, probably beats his wife and is a suspect. I get it. I
Seems
wanted
like
to.
he's got MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles.
Yeah. I mean, come on. And if there was a deportation order, just say it. Like, so you
see
can't.
the photographs that his wife puts out where she covers his knuckles in every picture?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hilarious.
I mean.
So I was saying, oh my God, they deported a Maryland man and a father, because that's what I was reading in the news.
Same.
And then you get into it and you're like,
Same.
oh, wait a minute. Oh, hold on. And then they released the dash cam footage, the police footage of when they arrested him. Not dash cam, whatever the cops were wearing.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I thought the exact same thing.
It's crazy, but it's just like, you
What
can't just go on narrative, because these narratives are just designed to make the Trump administration look like monsters.
I was giving an interview to this woman from the New York Times, and she's like, "But don't you see this?" And I was like, "I do see it, and I don't understand it, and I wish it would be different." But but then you get into the lesser evils. I wrote her back, and I was like, "I don't agree with my previous position based on the current information available to me now."
Yeah, it seems like he was a gang member. But then there was that gay hairdresser that seems like he
That
just got
one's
roped
tough.
up.
I know, and what I have learned so far, because I've really been trying to get to the bottom of that one, because I don't understand why the left isn't leaning on that one.
Right,
The other guy
right,
beats his
right.
wife, suspected trafficker. Like, you want to be outraged? This guy is a gay hairdresser. I guess he committed. I was listening to Tim Pool talk about this immigration fraud. So listen, that
Okay, but
guy's
that
a tough one.
doesn't belong in an El Salvador
I
prison.
agree with you completely.
Also,
That-
he's
that
not even
one's-
from El Salvador, which is really crazy.
Now, okay, hold on. Here would be the argument there. I think, if I'm understanding it correctly, is that if somebody can be deported, but they are withheld because of asylum, correct me if I'm wrong here, because they worry going back to their home country is dangerous or deadly, like
Right.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Right.
Because he's not a gang member, but he's afraid of being killed by other gangs that aren't MS-13. You got that one,
Oh,
right?
boy.
So it's like, I can't go home because the other gangs will kill me, but I'm not a gang member. Nevertheless, there's a deportation order on him, so I believe that they can just send him to a third country, and that's not illegal. That's something I heard.
Okay,
so
but just
not a kid
violating
shouldn't go to it. You're right. Should not go
immigration
to a
fraud
freaking-
when you're a
No,
gay
you're right.
hairdresser, you don't throw him in a fucking concentration
You could
camp.
not be more right about that. But tell me then, why is the left not hanging there? Why is he not the poster child? That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his knuckles.
Yeah.
Look, people don't agree that that's what that means.
Oh, dude, I've talked to a
Two
guy
courts
who's a
did.
gang expert.
Two separate courts agreed.
I talked to a guy
that's
who's
what
a
that
gang
means.
expert who explained it to me. He's like, yeah, this is how it works.
There's also an informant who confirmed.
Well,
that
there's
he was-
different versions of MS-13, but that's what it means. Like marijuana, smiley
Yep.
face, Jesus, and then the skull.
I'm just saying when I looked online. I
How
see
is
tons of
this the
people that
left
say they don't
poster
agree.
child?
Okay, you can look online,
That's
but
what
I mean,
I like-
I talked to a gang expert that told me that was explaining to me. And there's a bunch of different versions of
There's
gang
two
tattoos. that they
courts
use.
that determined he was an MS-13 gang member. The cops had an informant that was an extremely reliable source that said he is MS-13. The wife was like, he beats me, and then withdrew, I guess, but had filed a report. And
Set a protection order in
yes, the
2021.
cops
Yeah.
pulled the guy over with 8 guys in the car going from Texas to Maryland, I think, or from Maryland to Texas. No luggage, no tools, and suspected him of trafficking. I mean, and again, I will simply say, if you didn't apply for
Why are they hanging their hat on this one and not the gay hairdresser?
I'm asking you that. Wouldn't
What
that
is
be
the latest on
your
the gay...
sacrificial lamb?
Because I heard Glenn Greenwald talk about the gay hairdresser, and that one seems the most compelling.
I agree completely.
But there's no logic in this world anymore.
It's
all kooky. Like, whatever gets traction. You know, maybe it's because he's got kids. Oh, I was a father, a Maryland father. You know, like that's what it is. Like I keep saying, wrongly deported Maryland father. Like what wrongly? Why? Tell me why. What's wrong about it?
He had a deportation order, 100%, and then said, "I am worried that the other gangs will kill me." And so that's when they withheld the deportation order, but he can be deported to another country legally. That's the part that, if he's not a gang member, why is he worried about being killed by other gangs? I'm just like, this is a common sense piece that we.
The whole
I don't know. I'd
kooky.
hang my hat on the gay hairdresser guy.
It's kooky.
I agree with you.
Like, it's also like, imagine, you know, inheriting this problem. Like, you've had open borders for 4 years, and they've let thousands and thousands of potential criminals in here, if not millions. They've let millions of people. Who knows how many of these people are suspected terrorists? It's not just one. It's not zero. Okay, so what's the number? I don't know. How many of them are gang members? Is it zero? No, it's not zero. So they let in gang members. Okay. How many of them are in the cartel? Well, it's not zero. Okay, well, what the fuck do you do? What do you do if you want to clean up this mess that has been en masse for 4 years? Just flooded. Open borders. Not just open borders, but like busing them in, flying them in, giving them debit cards, giving them phones.
Oh my God, interest-free loans in California. Loopholes that Gavin Newsom has created to give them health care.
Billions of dollars in health care.
My friggin' 35-year-old brother can't get a home loan and can't get health care, but his tax dollar. Like, this
he needs to change his name in Mexico and walk across the border.
I've told him a couple of times. I was like, Greg, you know, burn the passport, babe. This will work. You know, he's half Latin. He's my half brother. He could get away with it. He looks the part. It is bananas. And
but it's all a political ploy. And the idea that they're not doing it to get votes is crazy, because that's what they're doing. There's a reason why the vast majority of them get moved to swing states. Like, they're doing it on purpose.
Okay.
And Elon has been talking about this, and it's one of the other reasons why they call him a Nazi.
I've had this conversation with intelligent people. And they're like, well, there's no evidence that they're voting.
What the fuck?
Okay, but here, if we were to game this all the way out, if I was to hit Elon's points that I believe I understand, first of all, I think they can vote in some states in local elections.
Yes.
And
In
Karen Bass becomes Gavin Newsom, becomes, God forbid, the president of the United States. So there's a reason we've got this whole grassroots thing going on, I would imagine. And then I'm told that when they sign up for benefits, they potentially can sign them up to reach out to them to vote. That could be conspiracy theory, though. Very much so. I've talked out of my ass. I don't know.
Right, but it's not a conspiracy that they're giving them Social Security numbers.
Oh, did not know that.
Yeah, because if you, there's a woman who was explaining when she was working for the Social Security office what they would have her do. So they would have them get permanent disability, and the way they get permanent disability is you just have to say you have a back problem. So if you have a back problem, then you have permanent disability, and if you get permanent disability, then they start labeling them as a client. If you label them as a client, then they get money forever. And so if then you have people like Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and all these people saying we need to give these people a road to citizenship. Okay, well then you potentially have millions and millions of people. Now if the Democrats are in charge, they can change the rules and make it so that these people have a road to citizenship. Then they can vote on elections. So now you've imported millions of people that are going to vote for sure for the people who gave them the money, not for the people who hired Tom Homan to kick everybody out.
Here's another question. Why are you not requiring identification to vote?
Because it's racist.
Well,
not only are you not requiring it, in California, you're not allowed to show it. It is illegal to show your identification when you vote.
That's just...
There's only one reason why you would do that. It's because you want fraud.
What would be exactly when I ask people who are on the other side, I'm like, game this out for me. Steel man this argument. What is the logic?
You see Kathy Hochul's logic about that?
No.
A lot of these black kids, they don't even know what a computer is.
Oh, I have seen that. Oh my God. And I saw the black guy making fun of her.
Yes. Just like running around the computer.
Oh
like, what is this?
God. Which is the most racist thing that you could possibly say.
By the way, every fucking kid has a computer. They all have phones.
Did you see that video? I think it came out of PragerU where they were saying like, well, you know, black people don't. It was like they don't have access to ID and they can't figure out the same thing. It's the most disgustingly racist thing.
You telling me that
you could say.
What about poor white people that live in West Virginia?
It's so gross.
Dirt poor. You know,
staggeringly gross.
It's crazy.
Okay, how about this one? I've also been told that the more people you have in a census, it doesn't matter if they're legal citizens, you get more representation.
Yeah, you get more seats.
Well, then effectively, you can make a president a lame duck if you've got.
Right. Exactly. And that's why California's losing seats because people are escaping.
Escaping
that is what it is.
Word.
It's escaping.
I go on record as saying I am pro-legal immigration.
Well, I'm the grandchild of immigrants. My whole family came from Italy and Ireland.
Unless you're Native American. And when you appreciate the ways in which legal immigration enriches a community, stimulates the economy, and you can control the flow, and as Gad Sad likes to explain, they support their host community when they're brought in legally.
Yeah.
But when it's illegal, it overwhelms the infrastructure. You bring in criminals, you don't know who's here.
Suicidal empathy.
brilliant.
Yeah,
He's
that's
such
what
a
it is.
genius. He's thanks to you. I know of him
Dad's the
for
best.
many years now, and I mean he's an absolute genius.
Yeah.
He articulates it like no one else.
And he's, seeing the rise of anti-Semitism in Montreal right now and at a staggering rate.
I have to admit that
There's a guy escaped Lebanon for the same reasons.
I do
when he was a
tend
child.
to lean. Dave Smith, after the show you did the other day, I reached out to him and I was like, all right, I got to tell you, I've always leaned more pro-Israel, and you opened my mind to a few things, and I
Don't become a monster.
I
Fight
won't,
monsters.
an
That's
anti-Semite.
what it is.
I'll
But that's
be,
the thing. It's like what the horrors that you're seeing in Gaza. It's like, okay, you're fighting Hamas. Hamas are monsters. That's right. Yeah.
but like you didn't let aid into the country.
Yeah.
I
even
didn't.
worse.
I didn't even
They
know
killed
that.
aid workers.
Yeah,
It gets scary.
That's when
It gets really scary when you believe that someone's helping the enemy, so they become the enemy. And,
And it's not that you don't like Jews. I'll preface by saying my grandmother ran from the friggin' Nazis. I'm, according to my 23andMe, 30-something% Jewish. However, I don't necessarily like Netanyahu, and I don't agree with a lot of the ways he's handled it. But it doesn't mean I don't understand what happened. I'm not appalled. I'm not disgusted. I personally think that kid Mahmoud Khalil should get the fuck out of here. Personally, I'm sorry. Like the kid.
The actual
I
fuck.
get into that one too. Like I see all of that, and I lean more towards the Israel.
Well, I completely understand how they can look
Okay,
at
that
things the
was
way they
my
are. They're
fault.
surrounded.
Yes.
They're surrounded by Arab states.
Yeah.
And, if you have been attacked relentlessly since the beginning of, whatever, 1948.
If it's in the charter,
Yeah.
kill all Jews. I mean, that's
That's
know.
not good.
it's
That's not good.
I don't know. Ugh. So
Then you see, like, trans people from Palestine, like, hey. Like, hey. Do you fucking know what they would do to you? Like, oh, my God.
I haven't been there, but yeah.
It's
Jeez.
complicated, right? The world is a very complicated thing.
It's a
and-
nuanced conversation as well. I got to tell you, I was riveted by that debate, and both of them made excellent points. I learned a ton, and it changed my mind on some things. Like I friggin' loved it. I thought they both. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, I thought they both made great points. I really did.
Yeah, for sure. I just wish that Douglas didn't misrepresent certain people.
I understand that.
Like
but
Daryl.
the Daryl
Yeah,
gentleman.
the
I
Daryl
know.
thing's crazy.
I actually never saw that show with him, so I wasn't able to fully comprehend the accusations. And simply thought, like, you can't gatekeep information. And people are, if somebody's going to believe that if this was in fact the truth, right, and he was this guy that was saying Hitler was innocent, or not innocent, but the lesser evil with regard to Churchill versus Hitler.
He definitely wasn't saying that. But what he was really saying, that apparently historians also agree with it, that Hitler kind of hid his anti-Semitism early on. And that early on during his rise, he would keep it confined, like the really rampant anti-Semitism, he'd keep it confined to these like smaller meetings.
I didn't
and
know
that,
that.
yeah, it's like
He's like, he's Jewish, isn't he?
He's
Hitler was a
trying-
Jew, wasn't he?
Who?
I think Hitler was a Jew.
What?
Jamie, will you check that?
Hitler was a Jew.
Hold on, I think so. I think he had some Jewish blood. Check it real quick, will ya? I remember hearing
That sounds crazy.
I remember hearing something
Was
like
also
this.
you believe in the Aryan race with blonde hair, blue eye. Hey, bro, that's not you.
That's not it. Hold on, I feel like there was some. Hold on. Oh, is it bullshit?
No, he was not Jewish.
Oh,
While
okay.
rumors and conspiracy theories have
Damn it,
circulated
I sucked
suggesting a
that one
Jewish
up.
grandfather or Jewish ancestry, these claims are not supported by
They're
any
not
historical
true.
evidence and are widely dismissed
Oh,
by
Jesus.
historians.
All right, I shit
Look,
the
it's-
bed on that one. I
look,
shit the bed on that one.
It's really fascinating because he is one of the worst figures in history. Like everybody other than really complete psychopaths agree with that.
Right,
One
that's
of
what
the
I'm
worst
saying.
figures in human history.
If you can't disseminate that bit of information, because let's say again, hypothetically, this gentleman Daryl was trying to make that point, then you're an idiot. Like if you can't determine, or there are skinheads and KKK that are going to tell you the same thing. If you can't determine that that person's fucked up, you're an idiot.
That's not really the argument, though. It's like no one's really saying that.
No, I
other
know.
than
I'm trying
complete
to.
psychopaths.
I'm suggesting that if the worst case scenario was that, but I appreciate what you're saying. That wasn't his point, and I have not done any homework on
He
it.
tries to look at things from everybody's view. He tries like,
motherfucker.
imagine you're this person. Imagine
this
you're
game is
a
wonderful,
German
but it
citizen,
demands
and
you
you've
pay
just gotten through
attention.
World War I, and the whole world hates you. Like, imagine this. And then the drug thing is a big part of World War II. It's a giant part of it. Like, the fucking whole army was on meth. That is so crazy. That is so fucking crazy. Really, you should read Blitzed. It's really fascinating because they had like a over-the-counter meth that you could buy. What was it called?
Oh,
Privitet?
yes, the candy thing.
What's it called? Pervitin.
Yes, I remember seeing that on
It was
your
everywhere.
show.
It's nuts.
And it was like a little candy tin.
Yeah, they
You
were
still
all
get
eating
the-
meth. Super productive.
That's-
That's why they have such great engineers. They're like, they're fucking dialed in. You know?
This is true. Okay. Oh God, damn. That's bright. I took a lot of dark spots here. I apologize.
There's a lot of darkness in human history. A lot of it. A lot of evil. A lot of horrible consequences and a lot of lessons that we really learn but then unlearn. And that's what people are terrified of with this like Hitler apologist perspective. Like, don't unlearn this one huge fucking lesson that, look, a guy like Hitler can exist. They can rise to power and become monsters and destroy countless lives. Like it's impossible to really quantify the amount of damage that guy did. Don't unlearn that, and I get that, but don't also label someone as someone who didn't learn that when they're talking about it openly, discussing. Right. I mean, Daryl talks about what a fucking psychotic, drug-addled monster Hitler was all the time. Like it's a part of his stuff, but you would have to actually consume his work. And Douglas admittedly never listened to him. He was just taking this narrative, this like very reductionist narrative that's very incorrect, and just saying it over and over again, and saying it on Bill Maher to applause breaks. But it's not what he's saying. It's stupid.
That. I did see that. I was kind of disappointed
by it.
It's okay.
You know, but
I was like, oh no.
It's not. You know, it's not correct.
I hear you. Do you find that you fall victim to that sometimes? I see myself do it on occasion, where you hear a narrative, and I don't dig deeper on it, and I've been guilty of it a couple of times.
I apologized to Bobby Kennedy when he came here because I said I believed everything about you before I read your book. I thought you were this kook who doesn't believe in vaccines, and he's an anti-science guy and a conspiracy theorist. And then I read The Real Anthony Fauci. I was like,
That's bananas.
That book's fucking nuts.
It is.
And by the way,
crazy.
again, said it before, say it again, he would be sued if it wasn't true. And it is true.
Yep.
And what he did during the AIDS crisis. And I know that they gave him a blanket pardon from everything from 2014. Weird they choose that date. Weird they choose that date when Obama had decided to get rid of gain-of-function research, and this motherfucker was like outsourcing it.
Yep, he was.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? We're still not having that conversation.
No.
Not in any meaningful way.
Well, at least it's in the White House now. That page is very comprehensive. But it's all right. Go to that page again because it's kind of hilarious.
Is it really?
Because Trump's in the middle of it, like walking, like he's getting shit done.
Like,
you seen it?
I've not seen
it's
it.
like that might be how they tricked him into putting this page out there.
He lifted the moratorium on it. That's the irony, I think, didn't he? Obama put a moratorium on it, and I think Trump lifted the friggin' moratorium.
I think it happened.
Oh my God!
Look at this! Look at
Stop! This
he's
is
like,
awesome.
I'm here to take care of business. I got a serious look on my face. And why are they like the true origins of COVID-19? Like COVID signed it. Like,
my
what is that?
God.
Why is it a signature?
You know what? Callie posted this, and he's like, "Can any scientist tell me what on this page isn't true?" And I kind of thought this was a joke. I thought it was. Like,
no, scroll
oh
like to the whole thing. It is explaining the whole thing. The virus possesses. Scroll up. Virus possesses biological characteristics that is not found in nature. In italics. Data shows that all COVID-19 cases stem from a single introduction into humans. This runs contrary to previous pandemics where there were multiple spillover events. Wuhan is home to China's foremost SARS research lab, which has a history of conducting gain-of-function research, gene-altering and organism supercharging at inadequate biosafety levels. And this is where Fauci... they could get him on perjury because he was, when he was being questioned, when he said famously to Rand Paul, "You do not know what you are talking about."
Yep.
Yeah, look, there's a photo of him with his hand, with his.
You've read the email where his team obviously is like, "Yo, listen, this is highly suspect."
Gain-of-function research. Yeah. And then after he communicated with them, they all changed their
for
opinion.
the sake of science and global harmony, let's not pursue this path. And then the nature study came, and that's
so you can download the House oversight.
Crazy. That looks like a report my daughter would put together, by the way, for high school.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
But what's even more amazing is that each and every one of those points is exactly what Brett Weinstein laid out on your show in March of 2020.
Yeah.
And I remember.
And he was labeled a grandma killer.
I pulled the freaking car over and started Googling shit on the side of Pacific Coast Highway.
Yeah.
And that was my Neo moment in the Matrix. I that was it. I was forever gone. Took the red pill.
I'm glad you took it.
And it was over, man.
I'm glad you're on the right side.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
But thanks for being here. I really enjoyed talking to you too. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me.
Keep fighting the good fight.
I will.
All
you
right.
too.
Thank you. All right. Bye, everybody.
Oi! さっさと出てこい。
音をさせろロロノは。俺たちの邪魔をするな。いくら隠れようが、ちょこまか動こうが、わかるんだよ。獣の匂いでな。
Jesus, they are just they're pulling every single stop.
Good luck and have fun. Enjoy.
Yeah, that's the shameless bucket.
A man needs to eat, and I'm just trying to make something up.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. I feel you.
I think I'm going to disrupt her. But I'm going early.
What?
Holy
Oh, so
shit.
they got- Oh,
What happened?
Parried.
That explains it.
I'm not a fan of melee in this game. It's just mind games.
I love it because
Coin
of
flips.
that. Not coin flips,
Yeah.
literally mind games. Oh, I play fighting games, so for me it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, what fighting game you play, brother?
As a Street Fighter 6 and right now Fatal Fury. But I live in the Dominican Republic. Here we have Street Fighter 6 like a
What?
religion.
Who do you play as?
I play Marissa, high level.
Let's go, baby!
Are you a Marissa main too?
Yeah, I made Marissa as well.
Beautiful. I'm happy now.
Just do a full charge Gladius and just break people's faces.
I like to be a little bit more sadistic.
You know what I find funny? Quarterback circle light, nobody ever looks for it. And when you do the kick version,
For me, wait a minute. The kick, you mean the Spartan kick or the Dracus, the 2 punches that go down?
I'm talking about the one where when you do your counter stance and you can
Ah,
either
okay,
punch
yeah,
or
the guard,
light.
the guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful too. Although they nerf it too much now, and it's a really pain in the ass. At least in high level. But it's still super fun.
Let's go for a little stroll.
Oh fuck! Wait a minute. Vindicta is being a problem. We might need knockdown for this shit.
I don't go selling these to just anyone.
Thank you.
go back.
If you like that, I got some other stuff that fell off the truck.
Nice. Oh boy, not so nice.
I got one of those for the missus. Big fan.
The shadows know their own. Catch me if you can.
Careful, he's fishing.
Shadows call and I answer.
My power is yours to wield.
Yay. Yay.
Humble lash. Enemies, catch me.
Oh, that's bad. Vindicta here behind us.
They're about to pay.
Oh. God. I'll just stand behind a guardian this game.
Farm whatever you can. Get ready for the late game. That's the only thing.
My power is active. Shadows are my sword and shield. The Deadlock in
Dynamo, if you're gonna use ult, tell me beforehand so I'm ready.
Oh, thanks for your help, Ava. Well done.
I will bolster your mind and spirit. Our yellow walker is under attack.
Nice.
That was way too greedy.
Yeah, fuck that.
Fuck. Shit.
Time to die. There is no mercy. Adieu. They can't run from me.
Nice. Fuck, we need knockdown for this shit. This is getting ridiculous.
Let's see if they're prepared for this.
Got him healed, I think.
So much fun in this lane. I'm having a blast over here.
Well, get anything, get Decay, get Killbane for Abrams.
They've destroyed
I got Healbane already.
And Decay next.
the guardian on green.
For my next trick.
Abrams is not in our lane.
Oh, fuck. We have Abrams and Lash here.
Ash is with us.
Sorry, not Lash, only Abrams. My bad. Fuck, we were doing so good right there. We almost had them. Oh well. I'm gonna make a build for Abrams and a little bit of Lash.
I'll be the last thing you see. Ava!
Your spirit will be forged into a weapon. The boss has arrived.
Rage buffs active.
They can't run from me. Throwing gloom.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
Look at me.
Time to move.
I'm not backing down.
Surprise. Time to play. Death awaits. Touch me.
Lash is low.
Hold everything. Just go and play, Lash.
It's Guardians now.
Let's push yellow.
I won't leave this lying around. Let's go for a walk, Ava.
Let's push Broadway.
Careful,
Calico.
Yeah, I didn't know that I was alone here. I'm dead. Fuck, that was stupid of me. I thought that we were gonna get a yellow.
Sorry, I had 6K to spend because we haven't had a shop forever. I needed to go buy.
That's understandable. Don't worry, we haven't lost. So, everything is fine.
For it.
That's something.
Abrams on yellow. 3 of us here.
Going yellow.
4 of us here.
Bailed down by my hand. These are your final moments. Appreciate the help.
Green, let's push York.
I'm gonna run the urn if you are gonna do yellow. I have to go. It's one or the other. Thank you, Ivy.
These are your final moments.
I forgot we nerfed this shit.
Yeah, you got a max speed cap now.
Get back to the group.
I saw someone teleport still with Sinclair, so I think you can still teleport with Magician.
McGinnis is here alone, right by you.
I'll get into position.
You're all on urn.
Your aim
You
is.
guys should be able to get something on the other side.
Yeah, push yellow if you can.
Yeah, they're all on green.
Walker is under attack. They destroyed the Walker on Greenwich.
may have went to the shop.
Someone doing the slot machines.
Lash is looking to pick someone off. There is no mercy.
Bridge buff's active.
Ava, you are a dear. I'm not gonna.
Oh, my bridge buff. Oh, fuck. Nice.
Thunder.
Our blue walker is under
Blue.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
Darling, you don't have a chance.
Headed to blue.
Our blue walker is under attack.
You can't stop this.
Flash blue.
I see Lash.
The streets are mine.
Kill a robot over here.
Careful, somebody else here. Going to kill item, Viva.
Time to die.
Our blue walker is under attack.
Leaping.
What the fuck?
Survival is
No slip.
Sorry, couldn't be much of help. I only had 300 HP.
Now power is absent. Death awaits.
We kill this McGinnis.
Oh, in there now.
Little bit of advice. Don't get caught.
Oh, I'm dead.
Navigating.
The janitor for the walkers. He's gonna lose yellow.
Get out, Animo.
Crap, they're going mid now, most likely. Forget what I said.
Let's push green.
Nice.
Should we go middle now?
We should do mid.
Yes. Oh, the Lash has ult, so be careful. And I'm very weak right now. I go down there and I'm gonna die.
I have a few tricks left.
The Rejuvenator is descending.
Nice.
Oh.
Good try, Dynamo.
Today you're making history. You're not gonna regret that.
Be careful, guys. There's about like 2 of them here. Let's push Park.
Oh my god, these fucking stuns are so.
Oh well.
They took out Ivy.
Come and Dynamo.
Let's push green.
I'm stalking, but McGinnis still here.
I'll get into position.
You earned my favor.
Abrams there.
You won't have the Rejuvenator for much longer.
Thank you. Going green again.
It's time to play.
Death brings consequences.
I see Lush.
More. Headed to yellow.
Let's go for a walk, Ava. They're about to pay.
Coming.
Oh fuck! Sorry, Dynamo, wasn't ready.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
Leaping. You played your part well.
Thank you for your assistance, guys.
Meet your end.
Guess Trevor Blue. Careful, Calico. A nice area.
Yeah, I might be dead. I am not dead. Yet.
Let's push blue.
We don't have the numbers anymore.
And I answer.
This game is just so free-forming. Well, I'm going right, that's for sure. I'm getting all those... Oh no, they're getting the slot machines, those bitches. Coming.
Abrams in the base. Abrams in the base.
A boss has arrived. Viscous has shown us the glory of the cube.
Yellow, somebody rush yellow now.
Going yellow, going yellow.
Going yellow. Fuck, they got it.
They destroyed the walker on yellow.
Push 7, I just knocked him down.
Let's put Broadway.
Just might knock him down again.
It's not worth it anymore. Let's get the fuck out of here, Viscous.
If I'm going out on my own, how power is up?
Let's push blue.
Yeah, we need that ASAP.
Catch me if you can. They won't evade me.
Flash is missing.
They won't evade me. Let's go for a walk, Ava.
Is there anybody else there in Dynamo? Fuck, Abrams is there too now. I'm just starting the fight.
Like 7 back, 2 is half health.
Which buff's active?
Maybe you are a dear.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
I need to push other lanes here. I'm gonna beat him in this.
I'll just push green and then dip.
Go out there and impose your will.
Started. There's something back there.
I'll get into position.
Going blue from behind. Oh fuck, I might not arrive on time.
Enemies have breached our stronghold. We only have one shrine left.
Try healing me.
Stop them from progressing further.
This sucks. This is not fun.
Protect the stronghold.
Shit.
Setups and stylish combos. Seeing her reworked with modern visuals and mechanics could be a real treat. Now, lore-wise, Sea Viper adds a different flavour to the Street Fighter narrative: corporate espionage. She's not a martial artist in the traditional sense. Instead, she's a CIA agent working undercover within the sinister SIN organisation, the weapons research branch of Shadley during the events of Street Fighter 4. Her role
We need everybody in blue, but we also need to push every lane to avoid a snowball. What a pain. Abrams around here.
Death awaits. Catch me if you can. The streets are mine to prowl. They can't run from me. Let's go for a little stroll.
Pushing yellow in order to create a distraction.
RC7.
That's gonna help keep your blood on the inside.
They're going over that bridge up there.
That Abrams is insane. I even have Healbane and Decay, and he didn't even tickle him. He's way too tanky right now.
On top of that, they have like 3 front lines. There's nothing we can do.
Oh, we can do shit. Don't worry about that. We just need to find a strategy for him. But we have Dynamo. Dynamo is pretty much our savior. But depends if he can get a good ult, which is harder said than done.
We gotta get out there. I had a few of them really low. But
I just can't even step out of our base. Jesus Christ.
I don't think my strategy was bad, but I could have implemented it better in some cases. Oh boy.
Was part spy thriller, part super tech commando. While the rest of the cast was trading fists over honor and rivalry, Viper was hacking terminals and reporting to Langley. What makes her stand out is that she's one of a few characters juggling fighting with being a parent. Her motivation for getting tangled in all this shady business is providing for her young daughter. It gave her a more grounded edge, something you rarely see in a series full of wandering warriors and possessed kung fu maniacs. If she does return in Street Fighter 6, it raises some compelling questions. Is she still a spy? Has she moved on from government black ops? Could she even appear as a more veteran figure, now acting independently, or training the next generation of covert combatants? These are intriguing questions to ponder. But here's the other side of it. While C Viper is unique, she's also a bit of a relic from the Street Fighter 4 era, a character that never fully gelled with everyone. Her overly techie moveset kept her from becoming truly mainstream, and she hasn't exactly been in high demand for a comeback. With Street Fighter 6 pushing so many fresh and experimental characters, bringing back Viper could feel a little like retreading old ground, especially when there are still so many classic faces waiting for their shots. So yes, she's stylish, yes, she's cool, but it remains to be seen whether the wider fan base will greet her with excitement or indifference. But what do you think? Has enough time passed for C Viper to finally get the recognition Capcom once hoped she'd achieved? Could a reworked moveset and some sharp narrative development make her relevant again in the modern Street Fighter landscape? Or do you think her moment has long since passed?
Good luck, have fun, and enjoy.
Careful with Abrams, he's really good. At least his style is normally tanky Abrams. AKA we need Decay and Healbane. Ah well. 7 low.
One.
Might be time to improve my gear.
We live in interesting times, don't we?
Oh, what would I do without I'll get into position.
Low again. Holy shit. Bebop is 1 hit away.
You got expensive
I'm
taste.
going for Rich again.
Let's see if they're prepared for this.
Black hole's ready.
Always invest in you, my dear.
Not gonna regret that.
Nice.
I see Abrams.
You played your part well.
Nice, dude.
Your timing needs to be perfect. Stay where you are. About to
Today, you're making history.
and for my next trick.
We have a fucking Wraith in our land.
Wraith is here, yes.
Let's go for a walk, Ava.
Hayes is here now. What the fuck?
Sorry, I should have called.
We got our guardian. They didn't want to hang out with us anymore.
Oh, that explains everything. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I just wasn't gonna keep pushing.
Nice.
About to grab someone.
Nice.
Singularity's almost ready.
Going back to yellow.
You have discerning taste.
Oh, thanks for your help, Ava. Shadows of my sword and shield. Dark reclaim.
Go green.
Detectives over here.
Death awaits. Decay. Keep your eye on the box. Meet your end.
I see Abrams.
Initiating. All according. Catch me if you can.
That's gonna help keep your blood on the inside.
My power is absent.
You'll be the last one standing.
Let them wither. Sunlight. Reinforce his mind.
I'm gonna try to grab Wraith. Oh, I'm about to be stunned. Right.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed. Time to move. Decay. Keeping.
I'm just low, sadly. I'm not so low, thanks to Mo. Thank you, Mo.
Yeah. Take this fucking.
If you need more protection, you know where to find it.
There's a shitload of them here.
Ava.
Singularity's almost ready.
Abrams to the right.
I see 7.
Grab him. I have ult in 1 second.
He saw you. He say, "Fuck this."
I'm gonna grab someone in blue. Oh, maybe I still grab him. Hold on.
I see 7.
someone.
Holy shit, that was too much.
I don't know what the fuck happened there.
7 ult, Abrams ult, everybody, and Hayes ult, all at the same time.
Our blue walker is under attack.
Blue was pretty much a snowball. Everybody and their mother went there.
And this slot would have been better served going to someone.
Hey, what's up? I'm gonna beep up.
The streets are mine to prowl.
Black holes up.
Here's one. Go.
I don't know how much we can chase.
Singularity's up.
Nice. 2 here.
7.
Shit, Abrams is 1 hit away, 1 freaking hit away.
Lash is here. Keep your wits about you.
Our blue walker is under attack. Decay. Someone stop the detective.
Headed to York.
Yeah, we got 20 ult.
Headed to York.
Let me take this one quick.
I don't know if we can, but let's try.
Meet your end. Our yellow dog is defeated.
Got it. Uh-oh, let's run. Multiple coming.
Whose favor you are, dear. The dark will claim them. The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed. Death awaits. I'm ready to have some fun. Enjoy. Our blue walker is under attack. I'm throwing gloom. They won't evade me.
Or just push out blue, they're all there.
Yeah, careful with the snowballs. They're pretty much dead right now. I'm trying to get tanky because of that.
Been defeated.
Don't mind the blood on your hands. Gently used.
Never mind, I'm leaving you, magician. Sorry.
Our green walker
Bro,
is
they
under
just
attack.
group up all the time. We need to stay groups.
We can maybe use it in green. Abrams and Lash. Oh no, Lash has ult. It might be a little bit risky.
Good blue.
Just auto Lash.
He's nearby.
I'm gonna try to grab someone. I think we can take this fight.
The streets are mine to prowl.
Saving our walker.
And I answer.
That's not fix that.
Crab maybe wasn't a good idea to take that fight.
Our yellow walker is under attack. Try healing now. Our blue walker is under attack.
Fuck! Run, Dynamo! Well, no, you don't need to run. Forget it.
You think you're catching me?
Nice.
Appreciate that. You'll find a message to that fight. But you're not me.
I'm going to grab someone.
Decay.
Grab it, I'm ready.
I've got him someone.
Crab escape. Freaking Lash.
About that stupid debuff remove or reduce rehab.
I was sure that was about to kill him. Shit.
Someone should get slowing hacks for him.
Careful, Abrams coming back now.
Couldn't have gotten far.
Let's push green.
Nice.
Thunder.
Holy shit. That was amazing.
Nice.
They're about to pay. The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
3 in green. What the hell?
Let's go for a little stroll.
Coming from behind in blue.
Bro is not hitting you with any of his melees.
Let them wither. Adieu. Headed to green.
Thank you.
They can't block me. Our green walker is under attack.
I see race.
You're looking to survive. You came to the right place.
Sharing this glory, Krill. Without your efforts, they would not die so easily.
Black holes online.
Maybe you will use it in green. I don't know if they're going green or blue.
They're coming in.
Going green.
Got 3.
Nice. Not so nice.
Do mid, go mid. Make sure you stop us.
Pretty much.
Someone was pushing up yellow.
I'll do it when I'm
Yeah, just watch out for 7.
I'm going yellow then.
Our yellow walker is
Someone please go yellow.
Catch me if you can.
Well, going mid then.
Yeah, there's monks here.
We should still get it easy because we have the full control of blue.
I'm gonna bunny it.
Somebody's going green now.
Nice.
Really, Lexi, line uphill there.
It's time to play.
Abrams in yellow.
They'll die by my hand.
Singularity's almost ready.
We need this team fight. We have rejuve, so we have the full advantage right now.
Has been dropped.
Yep. Fucking push the 7.
Wraith is here. Be careful.
Let's see if that.
I'm going blue just in case they're trying to push that.
Oh, I'm gonna fuck it up and not do anything. Never mind.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Well, if I can get it, I'm waiting for my warp to come off.
Wait, latch behind, maybe?
Yes. I'm going.
Nice.
The urn has been dropped.
Flash on.
Oh, no time to make biscuits today, Ava.
The urn has been dropped.
Going now back. Nice.
Oh, I'm gonna have knockdown.
Let's see if we can run our own Calico. You grabbing it?
Yes.
Oh, we haven't lost any more.
I love being an annoying cat. Nice.
The momentum's going my way.
Got it.
Is an example to us all, McGinnis.
Well, they're pretty much
Yeah,
dead.
let's get a shrine here.
Get it.
Maybe a patron.
Time is running out on the rejuvenator. Leaping. They only have one shrine left.
Oh, thanks for your help, Ava.
We could keep pushing before rejuve dies.
Tear the ember hand
Got
asunder.
the patron.
Our rejuvenator's about to expire.
Not anymore. Let's get back.
I'll get into position.
Not Mouter, do.
Fuck, Brady.
Holy crap, they were angry.
You ask me, the Oracle was way too harsh when they called you a warmonger.
They come.
Somebody's coming green and blue. I don't know.
You can't stop this.
It was on green. Try to grab him. Shit, there's a buttload of them
Watch
there.
out, Viper.
Going green.
I got a black hole for next team fight.
Dynamo, destroy them.
Dynamo, get in.
Well, they're sad now. Yep, that sucks for them.
I don't know why they did that.
Somebody's going yellow.
Cool, I'm gonna
We
push
can
green
end, we can
and
end, we can end, we can end. Go in, go in, go in. Fuck yellow, go in. Stop,
Nobody.
Go in, why?
Come here.
Oh, you're fucking retarded.
I'll get into position.
Well, the lanes are push. We should win no matter what now. Fuck.
Decay. Our blue walker is under attack.
Come back if you need anything else.
Oh, thanks for your help,
Bridge
Ava.
buff's active.
Our green walker is under attack. Mid-boss has arrived. Thanks for the assist. Our green walker is being defeated.
No, we win. Let's go.
Lane.
Yep, there you go.
Headed to yellow.
Ava! There is no mercy.
Oh well, they're angry right now and fighting each other.
Mad power is absolute. These are your final
GG, fellas.
Thank you for the games, boys.
My power is yours to wield.
I will leave it at that. Oh well. Good night and have a good sleep.